Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Dee Dee. How's it going? Dee Dee mean. Ranja mean. Hello. Hi, Drakon. Hi, Chris. Hi, Zan. Hi, Iduna. Welcome home, Master. Okari nasai, Goshujin-sama. Obliterated. Gohan wo suru? Ofuru wo suru? Soritomo watashi? You got a new technologies? Do tell. Head pat, thank you. An iPad? Oh, fancy. Very nice. Oops. I forgot my numpad is for hotkeys. One sec. Oopsies. My bad. There we go. As much as I love my tail, it's distracting in the hard eyes. I've only ever seen them one time. I'm not quick on the reaction for, you know, using my hotkeys. I'm too busy yapping away. I'll leave my tail for now. Y'all don't see the tail that often because it is legitimately distracting for you guys. I know it is. Truly, truly some cats out here. How'd you know? I understand. I get it. I feel called out. I got you guys all figured out. I do. You may be plants, but you're also cats. Therefore, anything constantly in motion? Your eyes lock on. ADHD, yes, that would do it. Was literally talking about that yesterday. The ADHD woes. Because I'm at that stage in the ADHD right now where I'm losing interest in multiple hyperfixations. So then it's like, oh great, now what? Sometimes my hyperfixations last for a few days. Sometimes they last for years. And then, but when they end, and nothing can be done. Anything in motion stays in motion unless it's acted upon by an external force. In this case, the only thing that'll stop my tail are like 12 moonbeams jumping for it. Oh my god, so right before stream, I took out the trash. And there was, I'll call him a kid just because he looked like teenager university student. And he had a pit bull dog in the elevator. Sweetest, very sweet dog. For the most part, very chill and obedient. But the elevator stopped on one floor and the dog tried to get out. And it took like 5 minutes for him to get the dog back at the elevator and to sit. But the thing that stuck out to me is, I mean, pit bulls, even when they're sitting, like, they come up to your waist. Who named this dog Tiny? I'm like, what? Hello? Why is it always the big dogs named Tiny, like? Like, you never see anyone name, like, a Chihuahua, like, a big guy or anything like that. It's always the big dogs called Tiny. It's like, why? Like, if it was a little kid who picked the name, sure. But surely most of y'all know your puppy's not gonna stay small forever. Sayfon, hello! And Zexu as well. My goodness, we're hopping today. Or the little dog being named something giant. Yeah. No, my puppy is gonna stay small and sweet forever. Press F to doubt. But yeah, very nice. We're hopping today. I wasn't sure, because I mean, it's Easter Sunday, and I know some people actually do stuff with their families. But hey. Pitbull named Galaxy Destroyer being the sweetest thing ever versus the pitbull named Princess God. So true. And I mean, I had to step over this dog as well to get into the elevator. Because this kid has no control over the dog, and so he couldn't get the dog to move. So, I've talked about before that I'm afraid of dogs, so I'm proud of me for getting in the elevator anyway. Because it's not so much dogs on their own that I'm afraid of, it's poorly trained dogs. Because those are the ones that are likely to jump you. Because that's the thing, right? I've never been attacked by a dog, but I have been knocked over. Because I had an uncle who, my whole life, he's only had Huskies and or German Shepherds. DD big small? No, literally. So, yeah, because, the way Ace and you want a Husky? God, good frickin' luck. I follow people on social media who have Huskies, and they need to take that dog for 6-hour walks. So good frickin' luck, you two. You call her shoes! Ah, I love it. Socks would also be a good name, but yeah. Assuming you don't get another 4 cats. I mean, if you raise the cat and the dog at the same time, then the socialization is fine. But then you run into problems. One of the people I follow, his older husky was a puppy in a house with cats. So she thinks every cat is chill with her. And he's constantly having to rein her in, like, no, that cat wants nothing to do with you. I know you think everyone wants to be your friend, but no. But screaming, yes, Huskies are big old complainers. From what I've heard, a lot of the times the Huskies just complain. They don't actually do stuff. Like, they can be destructive if they don't get their energy. worked out, but overall, they're just like big complainers. But yeah, apparently my aversion to bigger dogs started when I was like 2 or 3. And nothing bad happened. It's just, got too close to my uncle's German Shepherd, and I got knocked over by the tail wagging. I was very tiny. And like, that was the end of that. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not afraid of being bit, necessarily. But being knocked over, absolutely. Because the issue I have with dog owners, and hello, cat. But yeah, the issue I have with dog owners, especially those who have big dogs, is yes, the dog tends to be friendly. But some people are like, oh, don't worry, they're friendly. I'm like, that doesn't mean I want your dog to run up to me and jump at me, you know? Been a while, it has. I hope you've been doing good. Nice model, thank you. Yeah, because I had a neighbor who had, was it a golden retriever? I think so. And they were off leash in like their yard, and the dog just like ran to the sidewalk and like took off after me. They're like, oh, okay, don't worry, they're friendly. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Can you get the dog off me? This dog, when they're on their back legs, is as tall as I am, please. And I remember being like 8 years old, and I was at someone's birthday party, and they had, it was either like a Labrador or a Great Dane. It was a big dog, big and super friendly. And I kept asking them to do something about the dog, continually trying to jump on me. And they did nothing. And then they got mad that I was climbing on like the back of their couch and stuff to get away from the dog. Like, I told you guys. Like, it doesn't matter that your dog is friendly and probably isn't going to bite me or anything. I don't want to be knocked over by the dog. But yeah, well-trained dogs, it's fine. Had a neighbor with a bully, but he was so friendly. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's the big dogs are super friendly. But it's like, I am tiny. The dog, some dogs weigh more than I do. Please control your 150-pound dog so the 120-pound cat girl doesn't get, like, knocked right over. But the tiny ones bite, they do. There was some girl walking her dog, and also texting, and the dog lunged at me as I went by, and I scared the daylights out of this girl because I screamed when I jumped away. And I'm like, girl, you gotta pay attention to your dog if they're not well trained. Because yeah, most people just kind of give up training dogs nowadays. Like, oh yeah, they bark, whatever. One of my neighbors has a dog that definitely has separation anxiety. Roughly the same time, like around 7:45 to 8 a.m., Monday to Friday, this dog starts singing the song of its people. Like, it is inconsolably howling. For a good, like, 5-10 minutes. And I'm like, oh my god. People, train your puppers. But that's like a super common thing with dogs that got adopted during lockdown. It's because they've never dealt with their humans being away. So literally, they have no idea how to cope. Cause like most dogs, you adopt them, like sure they'll get separation anxiety and stuff when they're puppies, but they get used to the routine. People should for real train their dogs, indeed. Unfortunately, it is not a legal requirement to train your dog, so, well, it is what it is, I suppose. Alright. I think I've warmed up my throat and yapped enough. Just give me one sec. I have like one spoonful of my lunch left. Oh. Alright. There we go. This time, I remember to turn on the game audio. Whoa! What the hell? Giving away dogs after 1 or 2 months? That is basically... Yo, what? That is basically a scam. Yeah, 1 or 2 dogs a month is crazy. Absolute bananas. And cats? What? Yeah, that is just like scamming the middleman kind of thing. That is wild. Alright. There we go. Oh. Now my tail's on the right. Left, right. Hang on. Nice catching up with me. Nice catching up with you too. It's always good to see Beans that I haven't seen in the round. It's 2 a.m. Oh no. Yeah, rest up if you gotta rest up. That moves the tail there. There we go. Thank you for resubscribing. Take care. You can't sleep. Ugh, terrible. Been there, done that. back to the mystery. So, last time we played as Shoko, our poor boy. In one path he dies, and the other path, the girl he sort of like dies, and then it's like implied he might die, like he collected all of the soul dregs he needed for the rite of resurrection, and then there was like some kind of explosion of light, and that was the end of that. Now we're following Hadue Shikima, whose son was kidnapped and killed a year ago. And she hired this private detective guy to help figure out what happened because the police fucked it up real good. And now she's got to rely on frickin' Michael Jackson to figure out what happened to her kid. They got as far as figuring out that maybe a girl lured him away. The police were just like looking for weird men, but it could be the kidnapper might be a girl. Alright. Despite having obtained the curse of the hunting clappers, Hadue Shikima is determined to use the rite of resurrection by stealing the remaining curse stones. She instructs her private investigator, Richter, to find the other curse bearers. Shikima Hadue, 1 a.m. Shikima Mansion reception room. It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. So all I can do is wait and wait. I know it's dangerous to go out, but I can't just sit here and let this opportunity pass me by. I have to look for her, for Michio Shiraishi. But first, I need to find more soul dregs. The flowers put me at ease just a little. That old hanging squirrel, I've seen it too often to feel anything from it now. Stereo, should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. It's a fax machine. I rarely find a use for it. I don't know anybody else who owns one. Yes, the rotary phone. Ye old days. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. Come to think of it, I never offered him any tea. Not that I ever learned how to make it. Whoa! Truly a rich girl if you never learned how to make tea. There's nothing on at this hour. I see no point turning it on. Ah, yes! Back when, you know, after a certain point in time, the TV signal would go offline until, like, 5, 6 in the morning. Newspaper? What's this? A newspaper? It must have fallen off the chair. Read it. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Look at the society articles. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it made my eyes water. Eventually, people started getting sick, and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Yikes. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day. A lot of my family are... Congratulations, whoever's been sent to the Shadow Realm because Iduna was, So you have to say who you want to banish to the Shadow Realm, my girl. It times someone out of chat for a few minutes. Myself not realizing I had that? Oh god. You can't banish mods though. We can just redeem your points, it's fine. Ranger is also a mod, girl. We can just refund it. It's fine. It's fine. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore. Not since last year. It brings back bad memories. It popped up because I thought someone banished you. Oh no. Suicide at local high school? Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think, or maybe it was something about exam pressure? What? But, no, this can't be right. Her name. Michio Shiraishi from Komogata High School? It can't be. Yeah. The girl you wanted to find because you thought she kidnapped your son is dead, apparently. All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise, and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height, and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Well, unfortunately, you guys have not hit the bubble economy just yet. That was when all the interest in housing speculation in Japan burst in the 80s, and Japan still hasn't technically recovered from that. That's apparently why a lot of anime in the 80s and 90s was like dystopian stuff. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. Damn. The city center is going to be nothing but apartments before long. Not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Culture. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. Seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. But now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Well, that helps narrow down what year it is. So this has to be the late 80s. I set that up yesterday. Cause it took you guys 2 days to tell me that my stream alert still said it was Thursday, so I changed it to why have I been betrayed? Well, I got your attention, and that's exactly what I was trying to do. The secret bean message, like the bat signal. But yeah, if she's talking about gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions, that can... Was the NES the first one, or did Sega come out with one earlier? It's a good question. Ah, yes, the Mega Drive. So, Genesis was 1988. Yeah, and the NES was 1983. Okay. My guess is Atari first? Possibly. '77. Good memory zone. So yeah, this game is set late 70s to sometime in the 80s, I would say. Based on the fact that there's home consoles. I'm gonna guess the 70s? Just based on the fashion some people have. We'll find out more, because I mean... Magnavox Odyssey? Interesting. But yeah, for her to have common knowledge of it, there's probably been a couple at this point. So yeah, probably the late 70s, early 80s. Like, she did have an 11-year-old son, but he's from, like, a rich, well-known family. I doubt he was allowed to play video games. And the bubble economy burst in the 80s. But they're past the post-war boom, which would have been the 60s. So yeah, 70s seems pretty square. It is nice that they don't, like, firmly, like, nail down the time and place and stuff like that. And we have to, like, put it together through context clues. But yeah, also the fact, rotary phone, and having a fax machine, and the fax machine not being common. Because if you watch anime from the 90s, everyone had a fax machine. Like, that was super common. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music was all the rage. Fusion rock? Damn. Japanese jazz fusion was the late 70s, so... City pop was mid-70s, yeah. Give or take. emerged in the 70s, peaking in the 80s. Interesting. Well, hard to fully narrow it down, but we got a good idea anyway. Any mentions of World War II? If, like, any of the older characters are veterans, then that would really narrow it down. Because if it's the 70s and you were a teenager serving in World War II, you would be like 30 to 40 now. If it was like the 70s. And now it's all about city pop and idols. Oh, this sure is the 80s. Okay. Idols? Yeah. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. Here, the big new thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. Was that what Richter was talking about? Trends seem to have such short shelf lives now with how quickly the times are changing. Oh, wait until the internet, my girl. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern worldviews. My generation will only fall further behind. You're only like 34, girl. You're not that old. Everyone's attending high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. God. All this just reminds me of how recently women just got rights. Like in Canada, women only became able to have a bank account without having a male co-signer in like the 60s. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. Ah, yes, 80s. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. That's what you think. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. No, we gotta get all the lore. I don't really watch much television. It feels as if all the information of the world gets passed through that little black box. But Father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping. Back when it happened, I was glad about that. Less fuss. Now the comedy boom is over, although the comedians are flocking to other genres. The cult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Ah, yes, back when they printed the TV guide in the newspaper. Michio Shiraishi, the same girl who witnessed my son's kidnapping, committed suicide last week? But that means Mr. Jonochi was terrified of someone who already died? Is that what he meant by a curse? I can't work this out on my own. Maybe Richter will know. Why won't he call? Oh, I haven't left it off the hook, have I? Ah, yes. When you don't hang up the phone properly. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah! That must be him. Hello? Shiguma residence? Two a.m. Komagata Bridge. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Komagata Bridge. Richter, There's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Ah, yes, because her son's body was found in the river. Right, should have guessed. This was where they found him after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been. How cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. And I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next. So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then, the Yokoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Meireki, and just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounding it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore, and stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too. So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else. I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the 7 mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing now right over the water. The border between life and death. If there was ever a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. Interesting. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. Wow! Yikes. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stop to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? Oh, oops. and that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar, and that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone. Wait, are you talking about the Nejima murders? So you heard of it. I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time? I wasn't really aware of it then. I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. A notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It first came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to belong to a missing female high school student. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search of the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. Yikes. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was as polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they might have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hereto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Nejima, a 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation into his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Nejima had testified that he had snatched his victims from the street and confined her in the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, and her elbows, her knees, working his way inward slowly and methodically. His victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Nejima dismembered the rest of the body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Nejima readily divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears saying, "I don't know what came over me. I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse. Although the efficiency of his method strongly suggested that he had committed similar crimes in the past, no corroborating evidence ever came to light. Nejima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. Yikes! Oh my goodness! Now that is an unfortunate looking dude, oh man. Literally what you would expect that kind of murderer to look like these days. Oh no, we got a picture of the poor kiddo. Born, there we go. Now we have a timeline. Because he was 11 when he died. So if he was born in the early 70s, this is the early 80s. He spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus. I remember when that was a thing. Taking English lessons and training in kendo. Excuse me, to be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just partying around me. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved. It's funny, everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around down there myself. That's right. Which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it to the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. Oh, ad break gonna start momentarily. So I will pause here for the moment. I'm gonna run to the bathroom and I will be right back. And we shall continue. Hold tight. Whee! hello. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after, Fumichika Neijima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. The people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end. But the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? The same thoughts spread through everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. Don't like that. So, really, the river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least, that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? Well, I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. With all the darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Neijima murders. I mean, she found... Didn't it say she's the one who found her classmate's hand? Oh, can't go that far back. Alright. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who found the hand. Oh, okay, so that wasn't fully so that was just implied and I just happened to read between the line properly. Okay. The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Neijima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Huh. I guess it just wasn't the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. Could that guy have kidnapped your son because of that? I have nothing but awful memories of it. Okay, that's done. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. He's gazing down at the water. Okay. You go first. Please, go ahead. Alright then. I've been poking around places connected to the 7 mysteries, looking for curse bearers. And I think I've found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in Kinshibori Park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the question right back around on me. And he was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Warigesui Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business, so I guess this is the guy who pulled Shogo into the building. Gathering soul dregs, I bet, would make a good target. Next up is a pair, a young man and woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they would lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. Though it did seem like they were working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you could make it work. But with things being how they are, it's gotta be hard to find folks one can trust. They've got brass, though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Last is 2 detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved? Not necessarily. The body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the 7 mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. And if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's gotta be up. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say when you're in this business, there are some faces you get to know. Makes sense? Anyway, that's everyone who caught my eye. You found all of them in so little time? I really did hire the best. It's all in a name, man. Richter Kai, P.I. No, wait, make that Richter Kai investigator extraordinaire. My, an investigator extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? You bet. An investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. Well, that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. It seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Michio Shiraishi, the one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping, that's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead, only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Jonochi was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? It seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. That teacher knows something, I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraishi's death. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. Makes sense. Let's see. Also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. Hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? I'm just an ordinary housewife. I'm not clever enough for this. Are you sure? I had you down for sharper than that. That's flattering, but I'm afraid you're mistaken. Anyway, that's enough speculation for now. The truth will be out in time. Oops. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jonichi. Is something wrong? Not really. It just struck me it's been 20 years since the Nejima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. The fuck?! Questions about this criminal justice system. Like, big time. Wow. Just say you're sorry enough and they let you out after 20 years. Crazy. If they're found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. Like, I mean, yes, prison's technically supposed to be for reforming people, and ideally people can return to society, yada yada yada. Dude chopped up a girl into many pieces while she was still alive. I don't think you can come back from that. Like, I really don't. That's right. I'm impressed you know so much. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. That just makes them more likely to commit crimes again. Because no matter what they do, they're not able to have a normal life. They've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodations. Wow! They're giving convicted criminals more help finding a job than, you know, people who are just unfortunate. Oh, really? I keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. Ah, yes. Your parole agent. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workplace. Damn. Such support. My. The way you put it. It's like you're saying Fumichika Nejima could be out on parole right now. Back in society under a new name, with nobody any the wiser. I think that is exactly what he's trying to say. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. Oh, great. Just what we need. Oh my god. I don't know if it was Neshima. But our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. Oh, great. What was it? I was passing Komogata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. A janitor, I think, and I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumichika Nejima. Did he lose? Oh, that absolute awful amount of weight? So he regained a neck? This... Like, terrible dude, but holy shit. I mean, losing weight can do crazy stuff to a person, but my god. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. I want to be like, there is absolutely no way. Because why on earth would someone who was convicted for killing a teenage girl be a janitor at a high school? But then again, Japan also doesn't have a centralized sex offender registry. So a lot of teachers who get fired for molesting children just move to another part of the country, wait a few years, get a new license, and away we go. Much thinner than I remember too, yeah, no kidding. But perhaps it was him after all. Yikes. So? What next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the 7 mysteries. It's unlikely the other curse bearers will come all the way here. I can finally have a moment to think. I see. All right. Really? You cannot currently progress any further. Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Oh, okay. So I guess we haven't triggered that branch yet. This really is just 9 hours, 9 people, 9 doors shenanigans. Alright. Who do we go with next? Guess maybe in order? Tetsuo Tsutsushimi? Oh, Sutsumi. I'm putting too many Su's in there. Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, First Investigative First Investigative Division. Why did I forget to speak for a second? Is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate, Jun Edio. Former Yasuda Gardens. Hey boss, forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Great. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Fair. Just what I'd expect a middle-aged man to say. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but... if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. I guess. Somehow, I doubt it'd be that simple. Oh, but you know, I've heard that high school girls are really into this spirit board thing these days. Oh, not Kokori-san. Supposedly you can call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? Kokori-san, Kokori-san. You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a try, boss. Oh, brother. What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? It really is Kokuri-san. For y'all who don't know, Kokuri-san is the Japanese version of the Ouija board. Generally, they use a piece of paper and they use the coin, like a coin as a marker. And that specific one is called Kokuri-san. Sounds like you know all about it. We gotta be open-minded. What if that's all police work's gonna be from now on? That would be awful. Then again, in this day and age, who knows? Terrible, though. Like, for reals, terrible. Ugh, don't make me laugh. Spirit board. Ah, yes, that sure is Kokuri-san. Though it is considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of its usage can cause self-hypnosis or autosuggestion, leading to hallucination or symptoms similar to possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures while using the boards. Interesting. I first learned about Kokuri-san from Shaman King. Because Tamao, one of the characters, carries a sketchbook with Kokuri-san in it. Because her skill is divination. Listen up, Edio. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the cult. Well, why not? I don't care if it was a ghost or not. Ghost or the cult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this. I'll get them. I promise you that. Well, you got the right attitude, but... we don't even know if this is a murder yet. I mean, fair, but also... biases weaken our judgment, get you fixated on one thing, and you stop seeing everything else. You're right, but... aye aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know. Okie dokie do. Now? It's getting late. I figured we'd head straight home after this. Oh, he just wants to go to bed like the old man he is. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. And what better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere. That... alright. Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? Water? Oxygen? Carbon dioxide? I don't know. You must be really getting into this occult stuff if you're getting off on being in a place like this. Don't word it that way, sir. Wait, you mean somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. Someone come take this weirdo away. No, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Oh my god, he said cripes. Ugh, fine. Let's just get this over with. Stop looking at me like that, buddy. Guy acting like we just, like, ruined his life or something. victim was found. It's... well, it's clean now. It almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. Surroundings the former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokoami Ichome were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around at this time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. I've got a bad feeling about this case, and my gut is really wrong. Oh, you love that. I knew this would be a treacherous case the moment we were dragged into it. His rank is sergeant. This is his first time leading the case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. He looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Oh, well, that's surprising. I thought he was gonna react negatively to him, but I guess he's looking at it from the perspective that it helps morale, or it's good to have a variety of opinions or something. About the case. So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. Oh, we know that look. That's someone who died from the Whispering Canal curse. While there were no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle meant it's likely that this was a murder. The Sumida office sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. Well, with an expression like that, he either got poisoned or died of a heart attack. Take your pick. I think that about sums things up. About the case. But, boss? Yeah? Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons. Boss? You know something, don't you? Who, me? Absolutely not. It'll become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Yeah, sure, whatever you say. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? They're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Well, it is our duty to get to the bottom of suspicious death, especially one involving an officer. About the victim. The victim is Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau, 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles in education. His rank was senior police officer. You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he was the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He looks like should be in like a Gain or a high school or something with that Letterman jacket. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but it's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. Didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork, too. I always felt we'd need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all of our unusual cases. Oh, man. Hajime was a police officer with the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau and was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He held the rank of head patrol officer and entered the force at the same time as Jun Erio. Hajime was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Once a rebellious gang member himself, hey, I called it! Yoshimi turned his life around and used his own experiences to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanor suggested a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart. Looked up to as a big brother by his peers, Yoshimi achieved stellar results in his work with juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Then why'd you say he was single, Erio? Like, I know, even if you're dating someone for, like, statistical purposes, you're still technically single, never married kind of thing. But still. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. Oh? Who was that? There was one even weirder than you? Oh, probably Richter. Didn't it say that he left the police force? Yeah, there we go. Once a police officer. Maybe that was him. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his studies seriously. Wow, I relate to this guy so much. For y'all who never heard, one of my reasons for becoming a streamer was wanting to pay kindness forward because VTuber communities were there for me during some of my worst moments. That's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink in his honor. What a good egg. It's definitely the era. Where is he? But he just looks and reminds me so much of frickin' Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, Kuwabara had orange hair, but the build and the hairstyle is exactly the same. And he was also a really good soul under all his troubled outside. Please don't make fun of my dead friend. He's not, I don't think. Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die. I mean, it's a sure thing you'll die someday. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me most, boss. Oh, don't flatter yourself, kid. You might be right, but he's not gonna admit it. Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale. Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how the investigation goes. I can already see it. Idio, no! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on in that head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. But you'll be dead. You can't wait for your own death? Get it together, kid. He's thinking of his future, but in the wrong way. She really are something. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment, kiddo. What about the victim's family? The Yoshimi family is from Kitasenju in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone. No siblings or anything. Damn. Must have grown up in an orphanage or something. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge, old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. And he lived there alone? Guess the family was from old money. To have, like, a really big house that he didn't have to, leave because, like, his family died. It looked like the home of an old noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. There's that bias I was talking about. It's true. It's always the people from, those types of families that end up falling into delinquency. Because for one reason or another, having everything decided for you, or being expected to fit a certain mold, will drive people to, that kind of stuff. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things were complicated. That's the bias, too. He never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Well, that just means he was good at keeping his mouth shut. One more thing. Yes, one more thing. Yeah? Hajime was engaged. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school, over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. Unfortunate AF. What was her name again? You meet up for a guy for drinks every month and you don't remember his fiancé's name who he's been dating for 10 years? Bruh. Like, okay, maybe not remembering her full name I would get, but, like, first name. He showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman. That's so, how terrible for her. But she may know if there'd been anything going on with him lately. We should speak with her. Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Sumida Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. But why not now? Why do tomorrow what you can do today, I say as a serial procrastinator. Alright, ad break's gonna kick in a moment. So let's get up, get some drinks, go to the bathroom, and we will be right back. 3, 2, 1, whee! Hi, I am back. Hello. Big stretch. Welcome back, thank you. I do do some proper stretching when I get up from my breaks, but I feel all stiff today. Must be the weather. I'm getting old. Still more about the victim, haha. Hey, boss? I looked into the case that Hajime was running. Oh, great. That's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died? Well, according to his report from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. Uh-huh. The first was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamezawa last week. Yeah, I did hear about that. The girl's name was Michio Shiraishi. She was a second-year student at Komagata High School. Persona 5? God, pretty close. But it seems as though Hajime had contact with her even before this incident. God, that is a grammatically correct sentence? It is very awkwardly written, though. That could have been written better. So she'd been troubled for some time. That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought, too. It seemed he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but wow! Don't do that without prior approval, because that could just get the kid in even worse trouble. They said there was no problem, so there was nothing else he could do. God damn it. I mean, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. If the minor says there's no problem and the parents say there's no problem, there's only so much you can do. That's always the thing, right? Sometimes in games, you'll get the characters who are like, well, then why didn't anybody help me? And it's like, did you alert someone to the problem? It's very much a teenager, young adult, even like early 20s thing to feel like people should be able to read your mind or figure out that there's an issue, but people are way worse at reading that stuff than you would think. Also, people tend to be so caught up in their own issues. Rip. And now she's dead. Then it's possible he could have prevented her suicide then. Don't say it like that! He did what he could. Aw, man. He must have been devastated. And that's why he was looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation. I see. And you're thinking that it may have had something to do with his death? We'll have to discover we'll have to find out what it is that Hajime discovered. Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department tomorrow, too. I've got a bad feeling about this case. Okay, same thing as before. Still more about the victim. We've got a lot to go over. And what was the other case he was working on? This one is also related to a Komogata High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. She seems to be the leader of a group of kids who get up to no good. Ah, Sukeban! Girl delinquent gangs. Let's go! Juvenile delinquency. Fun. So fun. She was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. A busy girl. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Then, he met with the girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Right, just when he'd finally found an adult she could trust, she might act out without someone to help her get through this. We'll have to make sure the Sumida Community Safety Bureau does their job. But... we can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Yikes. I mean, you're right, but no! Then we'll have to interview her too. Ah, yes, you're right. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. I know they mean like the Sumida Community Safety Bureau, but now it just sounds like they're talking about a person, because Sumida is a surname as well. Though who knows if they'll actually let us talk with her. That's what we hired for you. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing. Yeah, I'm sure they prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Gotta love it. Sassy? So sassy. Watch it, I'm still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me, at least. I mean, he probably does. Just, you know... You guys are a little too close, kind of thing. It gets hard to keep, like, the respectful tone around a boss when they start acting like they're your bestie. Like, for real, for real. Oh. I thought I was. See? Were? Shit, is this just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed. I've heard for many, many years that Kegel is something the younger generations really struggle to get right. And the older generation really hates it. Because it's like, even though the kids are trying to be polite, it's not correct Kegel. So it's like how some people get pissed off when they say, like, don't say thank you, and you're like, oh, no problem, or don't worry about it. And they're like, you're supposed to say you're welcome. But that's like, no problem? Yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, the conjugation for Kegel is crazy. Because as I'm learning Japanese, they teach politeness as well, and I'm not even getting into, like, the full level of Kegel that would be expected in some situations. But just seeing, like, you know, des form, like desu form, is a form of politeness, technically. Because you can do complete sentences without using des. So des is a form of politeness. And then Mashita form is a form of politeness. And then, like, Dewa form is another form of politeness, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Because Dewa is, like, the more formal form of des. So it's like you can do, like, Janai, Nai des. Dewa nai? Dewa arimasen? Like, it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Like, the level of, like, Kegel that you have to do to speak with, like, actual superiors, it can get really crazy from what I've heard. Because, I mean, man, there's even, like, multiple forms of the same verb, like, based on whether you're the receiver, whether you give someone something, and or whether it is you gave someone something and the implication is they are grateful for it. And then there's the verb to just, like, hand something over. Like, ageru is, like, metaphorical and or someone close to you. Watasu is just, like, handing someone something. I mess that one up every time, like, I get quizzed on it. I can never quite get it. Probably just me, actually. Oh, okay. Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people. Back to school you go! So, anyways, boss. Were you even listening? There wasn't I. He was not. We've got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the two Komogata High School students. And we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Do, 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 do. Do, do. Notes on Hajime Yoshi. Estimated time of death 2 days prior? Damn. He was just out there chilling for 2 days. Finally talked to everything about the victim. Cool. About the cause of death. As for the cause of death, we don't know until the autopsy is done. Well, you can usually make educated guesses. From what we've seen, though, it appears to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved. Dying in the middle of a park like that certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? So convenient. Too convenient. The only thing Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets. So we can rule out a mugging. I mean... depends on what was in his wallet. You know? Though there probably aren't many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him. Ah, true. I've also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. He started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly. Ah, yes, the self-defense. Sounds like the perp would have had to have been pretty strong to take on Hajime. Cause of death. Time of death was around... Didn't it say 11 a.m.? What's happening? Crazy. I guess I'm crazy. Did I just freaking hallucinate that they already talked about the time of death? What? Didn't they say it was 2 days ago? Like, before this? Oh, his body was found in the early morning. Okay. Is it tricking you? It might be. I don't know. Iduna, I'm gaslighting myself. Help. I'm remembering things that haven't been said yet about the crimes. It's meta as fuck apparently, so I would be surprised if the records are disappearing. Oh god. I'm gonna have to roll back the VOD on this, aren't I? No! Lord help me. My memory's being used against me! I have a really good memory for details like this in games. That's why I'm so good at solving these mystery games before they give us the answer. No! Alright, 11... Maybe they had just... Maybe I'm just mistaken. They said they found him. What was it? They found him in the morning yesterday. Maybe I was confusing them finding the body with his actual time of death at some point. Was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the gardens early in the morning yesterday. Okay. I might just be getting details confused, but who knows? We'll roll back the tape. What was Hajime doing here at that time in the first place? That's the question, isn't it? That is indeed the golden question. entrance to the park is closed after hours, but is a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but... What do you think, boss? Someone called him here. It's hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. And since it seems like someone else was here with him, could they have called him here? Oh, that does seem likely. Oh, come on, sir. Must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So, Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight? No, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a suspicious scuffle. I mean, that too. Spontaneous scuffle. There we go. The perp must have planned something. Then you think it was meditated? That would mean... They killed Hajime? They called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him. Now I'm just... reimagining whole sentences. Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the person tried to threaten Hajime, and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him. Right. Alright, about the cause of death, that's done. About Tsutsumi. But either way... I'm so glad you're back in the first division, boss! I've always admired your work. You were like a god to me. Great. Ah. Yeah. About that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yeah, that's because it's true! I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I was assigned to it. So getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? This is awkward. What is it? If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Huh? But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you run your mouth like that. Ah, it's getting late. You must be sleepy. Come on, Grandpa. Let's get you to bed. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Yeah, I get it. I've been wowed by your shrewd detecting abilities all day! Oh boy. Oh really? Funny, I've been wowed by you too. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? Oh no! I mean, it's small talk, but if people don't volunteer that information, you probably shouldn't be asking. The hell is wrong with you, prying into my personal life all of a sudden? It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. That is probably for a reason. Oh, are you single? Why, you looking? You interested? Shut it, that's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. What? That can't be good. The department really pressures young officers to get married. I think society just does that in general, buddy. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that, though. How should I know? I came to the pressure myself and got married 20-some years ago. Huh, so then... God, you're relentless. She took our daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe she'd give up on a guy like you. Oh my god. I was never home much, too focused on work. Yep, classic. Hi, Kuro! I'd come home late only to be called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all. I fell asleep yesterday, but how is it so far? Great! I've been loving it a ton. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first? You say that. Oops, sorry, clicked too fast. It was already too late by then. You better be careful, Ariel. You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of the job. There aren't many who can understand it, not unless they're involved with police work themselves, or related to someone who is. Well, time to go, No, wait, how do I still married? It's just her husband, you know, just never comes home, because he transferred somewhere. But wait, you have a daughter, boss? Do not. You really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any. Come on, I promise I didn't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she? That's exactly what you mean. He's like, I admire this guy so much. Having him as a dad-in-law would be the best thing ever. I don't give a damn about his kid. You don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college. Wow, a college student! Men love an educated lady! Oh my god. When I reached the end of that first guy's story, confusion and also interest. I was surprised he was not the only protagonist. The storyteller question? Oh yeah, that technically he killed 0 people so far? That I don't get. But it'll all make sense eventually, I'm sure. Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that? Did he really kill 0 people? That's the question, right? The storyteller is an unreliable narrator. She's living on her own, though, huh? You must worry about her. worry, I don't even know where she lives. Oh, she hasn't told you? Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere. What? Come on. I would not. I don't think. Yeah, that makes sense. It'll make sense at the end. Gotcha. You got a shiny marine! Yay! Come on now, we both know that's not true. Listen here. You may look like a mean old man, but you have a soft side. What, is that supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. Game do be pretty confusing. I mean, it was very early in the story, so of course it's confusing when weird stuff happens. Oh, that reminds me. What? What now? And the storyteller being so cryptic doesn't help? Yeah, for sure. But that's the point. They're an unreliable narrator. They're not here to help you understand. They're part of the experience. I mean, the fact that you had to mute voice sound. God, my brain just left the building for a second. Because you had to mute voice sound to deal with one of the curses? That was insane, right? And at that moment, when they were talking about, oh, you can hear the voice, my brain just instantly clicked. Oh, mute sound voice. Like, I'm gonna have to mute the game or something. And then I open the menu and I'm like, hold on a second. They have a slider for voice? Yeah, for a game with no voice acting, exactly. And it's very clever. Because, yeah, it's totally normal for a visual novel to have voice sliders. Like, a lot of games now just have voice slider in general, but especially for a visual novel, sometimes they'll have a voice slider for every character. So yeah, in that moment, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to mute the game. And then I saw that. It's like, it's very clever about stuff, which I love. That was the reason the game caught your interest? Ah, makes sense. I've just had this one in my wish list for ages. Just because it got recommended to me by the algorithm at some point. And I saw another VTuber whose taste aligned with mine playing it. But like, I didn't watch any of their streams. And since the sequel came out, I decided, it was like, you know, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. You know your history, yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding. Damn. The convenient, you know, just like, oh, by the way. I was hesitant thinking it's horror? Fortunately not. Fortunately not. There was like some jump scares with Ghost. But otherwise, Gucci. Atmospheric horror is the best. That's why I love Japanese horror. Because Western horror tends to rely on gore and jump scares a lot more. Where, not that Japanese horror can't be gory or have jump scares, but it tends to rely on atmosphere a lot more. Feel okay with medical gore? Sometimes. It depends on the amount of it, you know? But like, I mean, I have watched medical dramas. It's more mystery than horror. Yeah. But it's fantastic. Chef's kiss. You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy. Oh my god. 4 minutes, it's enough to make you go ew and then stops? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, that's not too bad. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. When you're stitching a human together, you kinda can't get away from it. Yeah. So true. Oh, that was just cracking the case, finding the guy. It was all just happenstance. I'd really rather not think about it. It was such a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. It's always the mild-mannered ones. If we had overlooked one little thing, we may have never caught him at all. I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him in the end. That's right, we did have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but... We may have stuck Fumichika Nejima in a cell, but it was no victory. He always had the upper hand. And all the damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it. I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks, buddy. About the occult, we're almost done. It's great when the games give you so much lore and like all of that stuff, because it's important to go through all of this stuff to put together a mystery, but oh my goodness. It could be quite a lot. Alright, about their occult. So, all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? The Red Resurrection thing that everyone's talking about. No, not you too! I've been hearing about that shit everywhere. So he'll say cripes instead of crap, but he'll still say shit. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with our job. But don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started here, right here in Honjo in Sumida City, so I thought that maybe. Cut it out. Nothing good can come of getting involved with that rite of whatever or that record of fates. Sounds like you know about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop that seriously, this isn't a joke. I get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but... bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy. It's not real. So don't go hoping for miracles, got it? Well, boss, I think that about does it. Yippee! Just as ad break is about to kick in. Alright. Time to get up and stretch. Right before the dudes go and do some legwork. Alrighty, be right-o back. hello, we're back. Yippee! Alright, onwards. Think about that. That about does it. Right, let's call it for tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, God. Woo! Oh God, what is that? Huh? Boss? What's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile. That's not the reaction you're supposed to have. Damn it, it was that case all along. Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Ah! Oh dear, such deep sorrow, a resentful memory is flowing into me. And then he gets a curse. I see. Kill them. Kill them! Those who spread lies, kill them all! Well, that's a little extreme. You have acquired the power of the cursed stone, the evergreen beach. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. Oh, that's interesting. Because, this is tied to the story of the tree that was never, like, supposedly never lost leaves. And the tree turns out to be, like, a type of evergreen tree. So, of course, it's not gonna lose leaves. So that turned into a curse that punishes liars and swindlers. Interesting. Kills by hanging one who tries to mislead the curse bearer. Hangs them? Damn. He deceived us with his so-called rite of resurrection. The man who tricked the people with his false dark arts swings from a rope. They thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden of the daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting netsuke clasps. Netsuke, that's, it's like an ornamentation for male kimonos. The music, though? Oh, yeah. The music's fantastic. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic, the type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity that the ukiyo-e boom brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man, even in death. He hung there for days, till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the ropes wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it, as the mansion's owner was not at home, another unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persisted nonetheless. Hoi! Ay! The murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Now, sa korose. Kikoeru ka? Noroi jutsu yo. You who strongly desires the right. Noroi korose. There we go. basically curse them to death. Boss! Boss! Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile. What a thing to say. Sorry. I'm fine. Asking someone if they went senile when they collapsed to the ground? My god. Edio? Yeah? I have some bad news. Oh no, your senility is kicking in, isn't it? No, you've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, about that. The hunt for the curse bearers part. Tsutsumi and Jun are sorting through the facts at the scene of Officer Hajime Yoshimi's mysterious death. Tsutsumi denies the existence of the Rite of Resurrection until the cursed echo of the Evergreen Beach appears before them. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 12 a.m. The detector reminds you of your ex-boss? Interesting. Okay, so, let me get this straight. The Rite of Resurrection really exists? And to use it, you have to kill people using the power of curses from the 7 mysteries of Honjo? And the curse you have is from the story of the Evergreen Beach that's told in this area? Is that right? Yeah, pretty much. You're quick on the uptake. For better or worse, he was into, the occult already. So probably much easier for him to accept what's going on. You weren't your usual silly self when you were explaining, so I knew you were telling the truth. What do you mean, silly? I don't know if this guy's ever told a joke in his whole life. I'm never silly. The only thing I have trouble believing is that you're taking the occult stuff seriously now. Damn. I mean, talk about paranormal, I thought you didn't believe in any of that. Well, you know, seeing is believing and all that stuff. It's like that one older boss that was the scariest looking face, but is actually one of the friendliest people? Ah, gotcha. It's not that I don't believe in it. My familiarity with it is why I've tried not to get too close. He was transferred? Oh, no. That does happen. That's the funny thing when I read visual novels, you can tell I'm starting to wind down because I start struggling with pronouncing things. Are you just being a sore loser? Not used to admitting you were wrong? Watch your mouth, kid. Oh, shut up and listen to me. No point in trying to hide things anymore. We won't get anywhere if you don't understand this, so listen up. Please, just listen. You don't have to keep saying it, I'm listening. We don't have time to waste. We'll talk as we walk. Hey, wait for me, boss! Oh my god, the sax. To the bridge. Sorry, I just want to double check one thing. You're telling the truth, right? This isn't a side effect of your senility? Senility, it's the truth. Not like I can prove it, though. Revealing the existence of a secret department is against the rules. There's a secret cop department? Of course there is. Of course there is. Of course there is a cursed division. Why wouldn't there be? I was making all the jokes about Jujutsu Kaisen before because of all the talk of curse bearers and curse users and stuff. But now we really are just straight up in Jujutsu Kaisen territory. What's up, man? Where's the Tokyo Metropolitan Cursed High School? Revealing the existence of a secret department is against the rules, even to our fellow cop. But this is an emergency. I need his help. I'll tell him. It's like all those 70s vibes in the music. Yeah! Earlier, we narrowed down the timeline to like late 70s, early 80s, cause Harue's son, like in his profile it says he was born in the early 70s and he was 11 when he died, so that puts us in the early 80s. I'm sure you already know this, but this is all top secret. No sharing it with anyone. Right? You can trust me not to. But... no, I just can't believe it. I've heard rumors that he used to be a member of a secret division attached to the Security Bureau. Oh my god, he was a curse user. This guy's frickin' Nanami. I can't believe we actually have a department called Paranormal Affairs! Yeah, I'm sure it comes as a shock. I couldn't believe it myself. I thought the higher-ups were messing with me. Really had me worried for a while there. Yeah, understandable. No, this is incredible! That's the whole reason I became a cop. I was always fascinated by secret agencies and stuff. Oh my god. Kiddo, why are you like this? You serious? Really? But thinking about it, it totally makes sense. If curses and spirits really do exist, then of course we need a special department to protect citizens from them. Yeah. You seem a bit too eager to believe all this. Well, he do be like that. And hang on, I thought you joined up because of me. There could be multiple reasons. Come on, boss. Do you have only one favorite food? Yes. You can like more than one thing. Yeah, whatever. In any case, the official stance is that the supernatural doesn't exist, so the paranormal affairs operates in secret. Still not sure why they stuck me there. Those 4 years I worked nothing but cases involving the supernatural. It's like the X-Files. You need the believer and the non-believer to make this work. Wow, that's a mouthful. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division Special Security Unit Paranormal Affairs Bureau, it is more commonly referred to as simply Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know of its existence, even within the police force. As the name suggests, it specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomenon. Since the existence of paranormal phenomenon is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population, the Bureau's activities are conducted in the utmost secrecy. Currently, there are only 5 members, including the chief. The Bureau has a network of psychic contacts across the country who assist with their cases, including Mio Kurosuzu. We haven't met her yet, alright. The Bureau undertakes investigations into any suspicious stories that cross their desk, though the vast majority turn out to be hoaxes. Due to the sheer volume of cases, close-lipped, experienced detectives without paranormal abilities of their own, such as Tetsuo Tsutsumi, are sometimes assigned to investigate. The current chief of paranormal affairs is a man named Kuiru Nagagoshi, who was born to a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomenon for generations, and has served as Mio Kurosuzu's mentor since discovering her. I see. Kuiru is an elusive figure. Few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that this is because he has oft been the target of curses. However, some theorize that it is in fact because Kuiru is not actually of flesh and blood at all. His seat in his office is usually occupied by a Niue, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Niue resembles an ordinary white thrush and acts as Kuiru's messenger, leading to bizarre scenes of police investigating officers earnestly reported their findings to a bird. The term Nakagoshi case serves as a code name used to refer to cases under investigation by paranormal affairs. I see. He attended the police academy with Richter Kai. Ah, there we go. knowledgeable about current trends, every trait he puts down to investigation or land research. But it is actually spurred by his wish to have something to discuss with his daughter. Oh boy. Dad's doing his best, we'll give him that. Is there anything in this? Oh, hi! Huh? Someone's watching us. Doesn't seem like they're gonna run. Let's just keep an eye on them for now. Is that our buddy Shogo? Is there anything else? Doesn't look like we can look at the surroundings. Okay. So, do you know, have it? Don't word it like that. That sounds weird. Have what? Spirit sense, of course. Are they what you call spiritually gifted? Oh boy. I mean, he probably wouldn't be so, skeptical if he did have it. You're getting a bit eepy, you should nap? Yeah, no worries, take care, have fun, of course. Thank you for stopping by. Nope, I've never felt anything at all. Even if I did, I'd be a lightweight at best. One beer and I'm down for the count. Huh? He also uses alcohol analogy to talk about spiritual stuff, like Yoko does. Is Yoko involved in, like, paranormal, like this bureau? Curiouser and curiouser. Oh. Huh. Is that how people in the field quantify someone's spirit sense? Like how much liquor they can handle? Apparently. Nope, that's just me. Thought it'd help get the point across. No, it's not just you. Yoko's like that as well. I have questions. Sir, you are not being honest with us. Oh. Huh. Sorry, seems like I keep disappointing you. Damn. No, it's not your fault, boss. At the risk of disappointing you yet again, I'll tell you one more thing. Oh, goody, more disappointment. Spirit sense is usually something you're born with. It's tough to develop it later on. What? So there's no hope for me? No, say it ain't so. Of course you were interested. Well, you never know. You may have some hidden potential. Just, you know, don't count your chickens before they hatch kind of thing, I guess. I know there's a high schooler who got so much spirit sense that she works on the front lines. Damn. I'm guessing that's Mio Kurosuzu, who they were just talking about. I say work, but she wasn't paid because it was supposedly part of her training. Yikes. That seems like it'd be in violation of Article 69 of the Labor Standards Act. Wow, you really know the law. No comment. So it is in violation. Unpaid apprenticeship. Great. We hate it. Even the cult field has workers' rights issues, huh? Yep, apparently. So, what do we do now? Great question. We got this Rite of Resurrection and the cursed echoes of the 7 mysteries of Honjo. The curses being spread out around the city is a bit of an emergency. Yippee! What could possibly go wrong with that? It's that bad? I'll put it this way, it's like handing out guns all over town. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Jeez, that's really bad. Shout out to Lycurus Recoil, where the bad guy did the exact same thing. So, we need to find the source and put a stop to it before something terrible happens. Usually that'd be a job for paranormal affairs, but I talked to them on our way here. The main team is tied up till tomorrow night. How? Did you stop by a payphone? Said to deal with it myself. Said it'd be fine since I have some experience. Huh? What? Then that overtime you mentioned means, yep, you're gonna help me, partner. Aren't you happy? It's exactly what you wanted. All right, let's do this. Oh, he is happy. You seem a bit too eager to dive into all this. You really have no reservations working a case you know nothing about. You said this was an emergency. I didn't think we had a choice. I'm just trying to be logical about this, boss. Well, good for you. You really are something. It might actually be nice having you around. Why, thank you. So, what exactly do we do? If these curses are connected to the 7 mysteries, then the people who have the others should all be here in town. Right, if there's 7 of them, then that means there are 6 more out there. And we have to stop them before they kill anyone with their curses. If we can, we should find and collect all the curse stones. But boss, from what you said earlier, killing a curse bearer gets you closer to completing the rite of resurrection. Won't your life be in danger if they find out you're a curse bearer? Pretty much. We can't let that happen. Should you even be out here right now? Hiding would only be a waste of time. The mystery of the one-sided reed is associated with the Yogoku Bridge. I was hoping we'd be quick enough to run into the one-sided reed's curse bearer, but no such luck it seems. Well, if nothing else, maybe word will spread that the cops are on the lookout for and people will behave. That's putting a lot of trust in whoever these other people are. But it's possible that the other curse bearers with the same idea will come here. Talk to anyone you see who seems suspicious. That means someone may have the power of a curse. Yep, you may get to die in the line of duty, just like you wanted to, buddy. Congratulations. Understood, in that case. Why don't I ask that guy who's been watching us this whole time? Ah, you noticed him too. Well, good luck. Hey, you there! Sorry to bother you, but I've got some questions. I'm with the police. Oh, it's this guy! Do I still have the sound off? I do. Okay, we're safe. Thanks for your cooperation. We'll be asking you a few things, Mr. Yutaro Namigaki. That's your name, correct? Yes. I don't mind answering your questions. But I sense a but. You're a detective. Did something happen? Oh, right. Lots of things have been happening around here. Like people dying. So chill. Dun 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 dun. Alright. It's a little earlier than we usually do, but I think I'll call it here. I don't... What's the temperature in here? Yeah, it's getting a little warm. I was like, I don't know if I'm getting a fever or it's just getting hot in here because the weather's starting to get warmer. But I am feeling a little hot. And I am getting a little hungry. So I think this is a good place to stop before we get caught up in some other stuff. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, my thermometer thing says it's 27.5 in here, so, you know, it's a little toasty. It's time to turn off all of the audio equipment and stuff. Oh, I should save, though. Just to be safe. There is supposed to be autosave, but, you know, there we go. Better safe than sorry. Alright. So, new schedule for the week will be out probably tonight. I'm off tomorrow. I'm still off from work tomorrow, but Tuesday, it's back to business, bow bow. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. For those who join us for the Discord watch alone, that will still be happening. So I will see you guys at 7 p.m. EST for that. So 3 more hours from now for more of 86. That will be episodes 7 to 13 of 86. Alright, who can we raid? Alright. Enjoy the stream, thank you! Let's see here. Yeah, Emmy is playing Dead by Daylight. That's sort of thematically close. Alright. Let me get the keyboard close so I can actually type. Here is Raid. Here's Discord. And here's merch if you're feeling fanciful. I will see y'all for Watch Alone if that's what you guys want to tune in for. Otherwise, I will see you guys Tuesday. For now, that is it for me. If it's daytime where you are... Oh, the raid didn't work? My bad, thank you. I didn't even realize I missed the exclamation mark. If it's daytime where you are, have a wonderful rest of your day. If it's nighttime, have a great rest when you head on off to bed. Until next time, take care of yourself. Wash your face, brush your teeth, eat a good food. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye-bye-bye!